People are counting on us. The galaxy is counting on us.
Solo, we'll figure it out.
We'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Contiengecy Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Get ready, folks, because we are stepping into the Darth's favorite subject of all time, discussing the most controversial, potentially friendship, brotherhood ending topic.
No, I don't want Rey and Chewie to have babies.
No, it's going to be an introspective of The Last Jedi.
Okay, bye. This is not what we signed up for. This is not what we were just talking about. I call shenanigans.
Shenanigans. No, we're actually going to do a little bit of early episode 9 speculation.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be those people.
Well, there's tons of people out there. I mean, if you go out on the internet or on YouTube, leaked, episode 9 leaks.
Color of the grass on the final planet of the final battle of the final Star Wars movie.
Oh, goodness. Yes. So, you know, I think the largest business for speculation really was, you know, before The Last Jedi. I remember speculating with other podcasts, friends, everything about what was going to happen next. And, you know, I've kind of kept out of that a lot right now, but we're going to talk about it. But let's first pop into just a wee bit of the Jedi Council.
Just a wee bit.
So how's your week been going, man?
It's been a long week, even though it's Wednesday.
Yeah. Recording on a Wednesday, it has been a really long week, really long.
Like, I feel like I worked 16 hours today, and I worked 8.
Yeah,
it's been a terrible day.
I almost called you off. Today. Like I was in that mood coming out of work.
I won't lie. Like at one point, I was like heading here. I'm just like, you know, if we got the text right now. Hey, I don't want to do it today. I'd reschedule.
I thought about it. You know, I hit the P.O. box. I got a shirt, which I didn't show you, but so a friend of, well, I guess a friend of a friend's podcast. So let's see. So the History of Minas Tirith, it's a History of Middle Earth podcast. You can find that pretty much wherever podcasts are. I always want to say wherever podcasts are sold, but they're not sold. Wherever they're available.
I wish they were sold.
Yeah, Phil. I knew of Phil from an Unexpected Podcast, Talking Tolkien's like Facebook group. Very knowledgeable guy, and he had been running a Facebook group for a while in conjunction, giving all of this intricate history. You know, characters, places, points of reference and time and everything. So he finally started a podcast here recently and had a little Kickstarter to get himself started. I contributed to that, so I got a cool little shirt and a nice little sticker.
Cool.
But yeah, make sure to check him out. Throw him some love. He's very in depth, and a solo podcast too.
Ooh, that'd be rough.
Which is hard, especially when you're expounding that much information. You really have to script yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I know when you're doing your power half hour, that's about as much as you can muster.
That's it. Yeah, half hour, maybe slightly over that is literally all I can talk. Past that, it just you kind of need another person to add input.
Your brain's just screaming overload. Make it stop.
Well, yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard.
You want input, you know. I mean, a little break to recollect yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, I went to the P.O. box. They jammed so much crap in there. It's like it's been a week. I check it once a week, but you know, there was like some big like Bass Pro Shops catalog. It's like I don't.
Did you subscribe to that?
I totally didn't. It's just like, you know, I shopped at Cabela's once or twice, but
makes sense why I'm getting Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, I think they own it now.
They do.
Yeah, but anyway. So I did that, and I was like, okay. And then I went and got something to eat, and I was like, I listened to an audiobook, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm fine. drove back, got in the house. I felt okay, so I was like, "Well, I guess you can come." And I think I texted you seeing where you or if you were still coming.
Yeah,
up
that's
or whatever,
right.
so.
As I was leaving, I'm like, I got a text from. I wonder.
Yeah, no, it was just an odd day at work, and I don't know. I got a second wind as soon as I drove out and put some miles between myself and that place. And I'll tell you what else, man. Used cars.
Oh, you still having fun with that?
Sucks.
I clearly see no used car in your driveway, so I'm going to assume you didn't find one yet.
All this interesting information and backstory you expect to hear on a podcast where we talk about stuff. Yeah, about Star Wars. So I was looking for my Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
No, I've been looking for a commuter car, something I can take to and from work. But, I looked at a little Camry. Mm-hmm. And
good cars.
No, I mean, everything looked good until he popped the hood. And the engine was shaking. It's
the mounts is
you need
nice.
which apparently is a problem with Camrys,
Really?
2009, 12 range, or even before that apparently. So I watched I did my YouTube mechanic video watch, and I said,
Scotty Kilmer.
Honestly, it's not. It doesn't look that bad. I mean, just as long as you have a hoist and you can secure your engine. But blah blah blah.
Drops the price though.
Yeah, he wasn't dropping.
What do you want for it?
Originally put like 41. I think he was like, well, I'd really take 38. It's like, I can give you $3,000, brother.
How many miles?
Well, and that was the other thing. It was like 169, so it was high mileage.
3 would be high for that. I mean,
Well,
they're good cars. They'll last like 300,000.
It'll last for a while. But yeah, I mean, it's just been kind of a weird time, and I'm very picky, and I'm at the point in my life where I can pick out all the little faults of your
crappy commuter.
your beater that you've been doing what I'm going to do to it. All those naughty things. But yeah, I just want to drive something to and from work and stop beating up my truck.
Yeah. I feel it.
No luck, man. No luck.
Well, I'm not finding it either, so that makes you feel any better.
Well, yeah, you just got your crotch rocket.
No, I got a cruiser.
Whatever. Okay. Now, do you sit back on it like a cruiser, or do you sit forward on it like a crotch rocket?
No, I sit back on it. It's an actual cruiser, like a Harley-style cruiser. It's
I actually
not a
didn't even
crotch
remember
rocket.
what you bought. What did you buy?
It's a Yamaha Bolt.
It's
basically an exact copy of the Harley Iron 883.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it new? Old?
2014.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I always thought of Yamaha as kind of like that, kind of a, just like a rice rocket brand or whatever. But so,
I'll pull up a picture for him so you guys can all indulge.
Just don't get it too close to the recorder because your phone likes to fritz out the sound.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep back.
Well, I mean, I went through like, my sort of half a cycle phase, back in.
Did you have a bike? I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, it was back like early stages of college, and then I just got a little gun shy on it because people drive really crappy.
That's my only problem with it. I hate people.
But yeah, you can get great mileage.
Oh, you can.
And,
Really.
Oh, okay. And now that's actually kind of nice. I do kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I won't post that on Facebook for everyone. Sorry.
No,
Because then you might be able to cross-reference my pictures on Facebook. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I don't post about my bike on Facebook.
That's actually pretty cool. See, I had buddies who were into the crotch rockets and
part of me kind of wanted to get, but at the same time,
and so forth. I was just never super big into. But so my grandpa, he worked at the canning plant, the old canning plant in town, and didn't matter weather. And they now granted they didn't live far away from the actual canning plant, but he would drive every day. He'd ride his motorcycle to and from work.
Yeah, I don't do it in the
rain, sleet, or snow, and I would
not do it in the snow
because he was extremely cheap. But because they penny pinched so much back then, they have enjoyed a very nice retirement. So they travel and all that stuff. So
no, it's definitely cheaper. I think so. That takes 93 octane. The only thing that hurts is it is what it is.
But it's a small tank, right?
Oh yeah, it's like a 2.5 gallon tank, but. To and from work for me, which is about a 45-ish minute jaunt, maybe 40-minute jaunt, is $2.
Yeah.
$2 a day.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Yeah, it's cheaper than lunch. I can't. And my truck was like $5 probably.
So how you liking that heat? Because I know you're
truthfully, I wear.
He's got his jacket and his helmet and his
jacket and
chaps
gloves and everything, and I don't get hot.
Nah,
Now the morning is chilly because I leave.
sure.
I leave at about 7:30. So
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, I leave at 7:15. So yeah, it's pretty chilly in the morning. Afternoon, it's not that bad.
7:15.
Yeah, but what time did you get off work today?
Well, yeah, I'm on the road normally about 5:20, 5:30 every morning.
But what time do you get off work?
Well, 2:30.
Exactly.
Which
I'm off at
coincidentally, I interviewed for a new job today.
Oh, did you?
And they didn't post the schedule, so I was like, "Well, what would be the hours?" They're like, "Oh, it's a morning shift." I was like, "Okay, 5 a.m. to 1:30." I was like, "Oh
No.
my god, I don't know if I can do
You're
it."
gonna be like Dad.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
It'd be nice in a way. You'd have.
know.
It's almost like having a day off.
I don't know. I don't know if I could physically do that. I mean, because like this schedule's hard enough for me because I can't get to bed early.
How much closer is it?
Oh, like distance?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't shave a ton off. It's not in the same general area. It's just a larger building, so it's a little closer, but not a ton. But yeah, that should be interesting.
Cool. Well, good luck with that.
It would solve some problems.
Yes, it would.
All right, man. Well,
What position would it be?
oh, it's just managerial. It's similar.
Pretty much the same.
Similar to what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
No, ruling over all the peons. Yeah. Just like
All the young
emperor.
ones.
All.
Did you see that post?
Yeah, that was funny. So for those of you who don't know, we're on social media, so on and
Shame
so
on
forth.
you.
You can find us on Twitter now.
Yeah.
I've been running the Twitter, the TC Plan Podcast, or @, or
I'll have to
sign
start
it.
sending all my memes to you to post on Twitter, or finally break down and sign into Twitter for the first time.
Yeah, and then you've been running the Facebook for a while, and yeah, you posted the picture, which I've seen a little bit of here and there now after you posted it. Hayden Christensen, and then the young man who played it was Liam, right? The first little young
Yeah,
one
the one
he
that
talked
asked
to. Master
what are we gonna do?
Skywalker,
Yeah, poor little guy.
what's happening? Why do you have your lightsaber out? Why are you killing my friends?
You're gonna save me, right? No,
You're not killing me, are you? I'll come back.
I can use lightning.
He was Snoke all along. There actually was a theory about that a long time ago. I remember, some random theory about like little Liam Jedi Padawan, survived and became Snoke somehow, or
Yes, because that makes sense. He became a 10-foot tall behemoth,
yes,
but he's a human boy.
Growth hormones,
okay.
HGH, man,
Dark side. Get some.
dark side
Got
height
dark,
enhancements.
Got dark side.
Apparently.
But yeah, no, there was all these pictures of him with all the younglings, and I thought that was the best one, honestly.
Killed them all. Yeah, good old Hayden. So I didn't really look up any Star Wars news. Honestly, it's been relatively
stagnant.
dry. However, as we are recording this, the newest Age of Resistance comic did come out, the special, which is basically a 3-story comic. We've got a Maz story, we've got a Admiral Holdo story, not an admiral at this point, and then BB-8 Poe story.
Looking forward to that. Just finished Phasma, so
Getting
more into it. I already read Finn's story. So.
Yep, Finn.
Which did you like more? We're not going to talk much
Out
about
of the
them,
3?
Between Finn and Phasma.
Oh, between Finn and Phasma. I think Phasma's comic did more for the character.
Yeah, by far. I agree. 100%.
I mean, it's still kind of just the way it goes. It's like, I still don't like you.
I was just waiting at the end of the comic for her to scream, "Where's Jamie?"
Oh, God. Oh, no. That's cross-pollination of different nerddoms there, man.
Well, maybe someday we'll be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and use the typical HoloNet series to sort of expound a little bit upon what we're going to be doing.
Okay.
So we've got our main show here. Mm-hmm. You say main show? Well, yeah, that means there's going to be a secondary show. Mm-hmm. So generally I use the Power Half Hour as essentially a stopgap if we couldn't get together to do
scheduling issues.
Yeah. But I've been in the process of buying a couple comic book series, Star Wars, mind you. And what I'm going to do is use the Power Half Hour as a secondary show. And it'll still be half hour, and it will go over one comic book per episode. Now, obviously, right now we have the benefit of the Age of Resistance coming out.
Got a ton to go through.
Galaxy's Edge, I kind of feel like I just need to sack up, and because I got like issue 3, issue 4 just came out today. I should have bought it while I was at the store, and then because I mean that special, they had 2 left.
Oh, really?
They only had 2 left on the rack.
Wow.
So you're lucky. I was like, oh, they took it from its normal place too, because it's normally like down towards the bottom and center on the rack. And I was like, oh, there's like 4 people working in this little shop, and I'm talking. You haven't been in it, but it is a little shop, little tiny shop,
like a little record store back in the day.
Smaller.
Really?
It's tiny, teeny tiny, but it's actually really cool, but it's tiny. They have a little TV they're playing Star Trek Next Generation on. But they had like 4 people working it. I mean, one of the ladies I think is one of the owners, and then the guy I assume is maybe the other owner or their husband and wife or friends or whatever. And then they have the counter girl. And then, it was 3, it wasn't 4. But anyway.
Still a lot.
So I come in, ding-a-ling, hi. How's it going? What are you looking for? It's like
no. He's mine.
God. Well, and the funny thing is so the guy, I was like, you might not have it. Age of Resistance. Oh yeah, it's up here. And so he points it out. I grabbed the 2. I'm like, shoot, yeah. And then he calls in the counter girl who was in the back to ring me out. It's like, you couldn't ring me out?
You're the owner and you don't know how to ring me out.
I don't know if he was the owner. He just felt like maybe he was. I know that
he was stock boy.
I know the other lady is definitely one of the owners because I've seen her every time I've been there. But I was like, you could maybe be a co-owner. You maybe not. But it was just like, you seem official here. And he knew the price because I also wanted more sleeves and boards because I also got the complete Age of Rebellion.
Oh, that didn't come with sleeves and boards?
The guy packed them like several to one sleeve. So I had to get more sleeves. Yeah. And if you buy it with a comic, it's 50 cents, but I think they charge me like 85 cents or something for what I don't care. Yeah. It's fine. But
wait, the comics don't come with them?
You have to buy them. It's extra.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, whatever. It's a small comic store. I don't really mind. Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, he rattled off the prices for him. I was like, okay. And then the issue was like the comic that I was buying, the special, the counter girl couldn't find it in the system. So he had to show her where it was. It's like, so you know pricing, you know where things are in your system, but you wouldn't ring me up.
He's
you
busy.
Called her from the back to ring me up when you were right there in front of the counter. I just thought it was
Gotta pay
weird.
her to do something. I mean,
it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's funky.
Listen, if we were 3 deep in that tiny little comic book store, I'd be sending somebody home.
Yeah,
because that's just eating your profit. I've been in there now several times. I like it.
But you don't see how they're keeping afloat.
Well, I'm going to continue to go, but whenever I go in there, it's very rare that I've ever seen anybody else stopping in and buying something. I know they move stock because, there's empty spaces, where they've thrown things out. Obviously, the special, they only had 2 left. Because like Finn, I got in there earlier and there were several, but then they sold them all out and blah, blah, blah. So I know they're moving merchandise, but whenever I've been in there, it's like there's nobody. There's nobody here. You're just in here watching Next Generation, season 2, by the way.
What time do you go in?
After work.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a weekend morning kind of place.
Maybe. I guess. I mean, but the thing is Wednesday is when the comics drop. So that's when I would expect. Listen, I think everybody just has night jobs anymore. Because like even when I went to look at that Camry, dude had a night job.
Yeah.
I was trying. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to work tonight," because I get back generally home around 3, and you go, "Oh, I go to work at like 3:30 or something." It's like, well, what day? Do you have another? Oh no, I work every day, night shift.
Bull crap.
Everybody's out during the day, man. I left the night shift a long time ago. Thank you very, very much.
Doesn't really seem like there'd be a lot of night shift work in this area.
Hey, man, I don't know. I'm sure there is. So anyway, yeah, that the ever continuing adventures of a small time.
They're
comic
not
book
talking
shop.
about Star Wars.
I am talking about comics. We're at least getting closer to our goal. So, but anyway, so we're going to be effectively launching 2 shows per week. One where do the little half hour, and I've got some people who might be coming on for that. Obviously, the Darth will be on there as well. And then we'll continue to do the main.
If I'm not locked in the basement.
It's crawl space. Remember, crawl space.
Crawl space.
I don't have a padlock on the little false floor, so you should be able to get out if I keep the lights on. If you don't have lights on, you can't see.
But if he's a Darth, why can't he just use the Force and blow up the floor?
It's a magical crawl space, like the cave on Dagobah.
The dark side Nexus, is that what you're talking about? That would make me stronger?
No. But anyway, so yeah, we'll be doing, I'll be putting out that show, probably dropping those Thursday. And we'll be talking some comics. Yeah. Because, honestly, it's not a medium that I've been super into.
I never really read comics growing up, so I'm kind of interested.
Which is, I don't know. I guess people would call us nerds. We have a Star Wars podcast. We played video games. I was far more into music, I guess, for, a little bit longer. But, we read.
We read a lot, but
we just never really got into comics.
Probably because we read so much, honestly. We're so used to such substance that something this small just didn't
but
grab
even the
us.
thing is, you played like superhero video games. I remember you playing that darn the Spider-Man 2 or whatever?
Oh, yeah. That was great.
Over and over again. But
never read a single comic.
You never wanted Spider-Man comics, did you?
Watched the crap out of the TV shows, too, but never got into the comics.
Well, I watched, the Batman cartoon back in the 90s, and then X-Men also,
Loved Teen Titans, but I never read the comics.
Yeah, that was a dumb show.
It was entertaining. Now it's dumb. Have you seen the new animation?
I really didn't like that show.
Really?
And then I don't.
It's worse now.
I don't know why, but yeah, I do remember catching a snippet of the new, and it got worse.
They're bringing everything back and making the animation terrible, and the story is like for a 7-year-old now.
It's gonna happen. Yeah. It's definitely gonna happen. So anyway, I think we better stop yakking and start. Maybe talking a little War of the Stars.
Yeah, okay. What'd you say? What'd you call it?
War of the Stars?
What's that?
I don't know. Something.
Which stars?
Laser swords.
Which stars are we talking?
Laser swords and laser guns and some guy with a bucket on its head. And I don't know, man. Stuff.
Okay, let's just talk about The Last Jedi.
All right. Episode 9. So let's start
from... Not The Last Jedi.
Let's start from the beginning. Rise of Skywalker. Skywalker is somehow rising. Maybe perhaps like Lazarus.
Or perhaps it's like that Yoda meme. The Force rises. The Force needs 5 more minutes.
Maybe. So, Celebration 2019, Chicago. An awesome guy with a sweet beard had a VIP pass, and he was sitting in the 4th row from the screen, and out comes, just all the cast and everybody imaginable, and we're having a good time, and then we're not expecting a trailer because they're like, oh, blah, 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 I'm J.J. Abrams, I'm not going to give you anything.
I'm not mainstream.
But guess what? We get a trailer. We're all going flipping nuts.
We get one last guest, too.
Well, so the sound system is on point. It's literally just blowing ladies' shirts off and men's bottoms off, because that's how it works.
What if it started doing the opposite? Everyone would be like, no, we're done here.
No.
This is uncalled for.
So anyway, let's just go through the trailer, right? So you've got this tie, just
Pretty cool modified tie, too.
Rey's just out in the desert. She starts running.
She's just running in the desert.
Does this little
Run to
leap.
Dagobah from the desert.
Maybe possibly cuts in half. Who knows?
I really hope so.
We're just getting all these scenes and all this visualization. Oh, there's Finn and Poe. Oh, there's Art, or there's a C-3PO. There's blah, 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 and so forth. Dude, I was just going flipping insane. Everybody was.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get the cackle.
Uh-huh. The cackle heard around the world.
And then here comes out Darth Sidious himself. The Emperor Palpatine, Big Papa Palps.
Still looks good.
Yeah, he does.
Looks like he could be even more of a BA right now.
Yeah.
As that role.
He does. Well, and he actually talked about that when he was a part of, I believe it was the episode 1 panel. He basically talked about, it's like, I've aged for this role.
He really has.
Like, I'm at the perfect age for each of these movies to drop. And it's like, you know what? He's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, roll it again. And, so watch it again. Again, everybody's just going absolutely insane. And then, as fast as it came in, it was gone.
Yeah. About 3 minutes of glory, and then
it was, and man, we haven't gotten a ton of news. We did get I believe it was Vanity Fair piece with some pictures.
Yeah.
Rey and Kylo, fighting, and so on, introducing some new characters.
yeah, I think we had one with the Knights of Ren as well. It was pretty exciting.
Well, yeah, and we have gotten media now. We got that 4-part Marvel, Kylo mini comic series that has the Knights of Ren on it and everything here recently. So, but it's funny because normally the friends I hang around with would already be over speculating, and it's weird because I don't see that as much right now.
I think it's kind of difficult to speculate on this movie, honestly.
Well, they've been very tight about it.
Yeah.
They've been very tight.
And it's kind of hard to see the trajectory of it from first movie to Last Jedi to what we're going to see next. I mean,
It is tough. I think in general we're just hoping it's good.
yeah.
It just get
Just
good.
want that magic.
Get good,
You know,
JJ.
I just want the magic that I had with Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi the first time I watched them. I want that again.
So let's try and speculate a little bit. I am not a great speculator.
I'm terrible at it. So this is going to be a terrible
It's going to be the best episode ever. This is pod racing. So, and the reason is because I take everything as it comes. I don't like to overthink things and put expectations on stuff.
Kind of ruins it.
But there are certain ideas that I have that I think could be very viable. So let's start with the beginning of the movie. We already kind of know it's going to be set in the future. So Last Jedi was basically bang, bang, right after Force Awakens, right? And
Almost a little too...
well, but the issue is the setup of the last scene, and then you kind of have to build off of that. But so we're going to get some time, which I think is the right decision.
Yes.
Now, the big thing is, how do we open? Do we open on a space battle? Do we open on Rey Force stuff? Do we open on, say, a Resistance sting operation? Or do we open up on a funeral?
I think we're either going to see the funeral, which I think would be respectful to do that. I think it would be good to do that. Or First Order.
Now,
I think it's going to be First Order, though.
let me layer again, because we know that JJ is going to be using footage previously shot with Carrie Fisher. I mean, we obviously had some of that in the trailer.
Yep.
That is going to be incorporated. Do you think that it is going going to be a part of the story, kind of like they did with the one Fast and Furious movie after Paul Walker died? Or is it going to be flashbacks?
Honestly, we talked about this a little bit earlier. I think we're going to see a ton of flashbacks in this movie.
I hope not.
I feel like that's going to be, we're on our final trilogy. I think we'll get flashbacks from each age.
I don't want to know. I don't want it.
I don't either, but I think that's what'll end up happening.
So, bigger question. Does Leia die in the film?
Her daughter has talked about how, Carrie Fisher's daughter has talked about how they were very respectful, and it brought her to tears with the footage that she saw, and she saw everything with her mother in it. She had to prove it.
Yep.
So that kind of leads me to believe they won't have an on-screen death.
I don't think so either. I honestly, in the beginning, before we learned of that footage, I figured that we would open up on the funeral. Have sort of like a respectful send-off of a major character.
Yep.
We're years past the Last Jedi. The Resistance is getting rebuilt. The First Order is still doing First Order things, but we have lost our beloved princess, general, leader.
Yeah. But at the same time, we'll need flashbacks to see how they got from where they were at the Last Jedi to that point.
Yeah, to be honest with you,
because how do they survive?
I don't
truthfully?
think they have to do that. I don't think that they have to flash back there, because what I think the actual first scene is going to be is I think it's going to be Resistance mission, and I think we're going to specifically see Finn.
Probably.
Now, we know we've seen some photos of his new cool Resistance uniform, not really uniform, but you know what I'm talking, garb. I think that Finn is taking the whole Resistance thing very, very seriously, and I think we're going to open up on him doing a mission, some sort of mission. Maybe he's got BB-8 out there and Poe's waiting for him to come back to fly him away.
Now, do you think that for Finn's character arc, are we going to see a more serious Finn in this, or you think we'll still have that?
Oh, I think you're still going to see
from him.
Finn humor.
Yeah.
Not quite Last Jedi, like
bumbling
bags
idiot.
of bags of liquid flying all over the place. But
It's back to bro.
it was oh, got a boyfriend, cute boyfriend, sort of like that sort of little kind of lame humor, I guess.
Yeah.
But I actually feel pretty strongly about this, that we're gonna have the opening on Finn, because first of all, they did Finn dirty in The Last Jedi.
They did.
If there was one character that I was actually pretty excited about, it actually was Finn. Yeah. I actually thought he was cool. Listen, a First Order stormtrooper.
Defecting.
Now, we've had, like Commander Cody, Rex, in Clone Wars, which were pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, even with Cody kind of defying the Order 66 a little bit there. But this is another animal. This is the First Order. And you have this trooper who defects, and he's kind of bumbling. He's kind of trying to figure it all out. This is his identity that he's leaving behind. I just think that they missed a huge opportunity to really bring him into the forefront. Because unfortunately, so much of what he was in was so dominated by Rose, and like everybody, oh, that Rose, I don't want it, but forgetting that Finn was also there too.
Yeah.
And nothing against Rose.
He became a background character.
Yeah. Nothing against Rose, but it's like I tend to like movies where we have a limited cast of main characters and then some extracurriculars, but focusing on our couple of main characters. Because even in the original trilogy, you had Leia, you had Luke, you had Han. Those were basically your three main good guys. You had Chewie and R2 and C-3PO and Lando. They're there, but they're not trying to encroach upon the big three.
They're just spice.
Hey, watch what you're saying there. Spice is bad, man. You don't want to go down that road.
Death sticks.
Death sticks. Well, that's a different story. But, and then you have, obviously your Darth Vader and Palpatine on the other side. But here I felt like we were trying to just stick too much in there. Too much. Trying to over-highlight things. Yeah. But I kind of do hope, in a way, that we hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. Just like, hit the ground running. Just, boom, right in your face.
Yeah. What do you think this mission will be? Any idea what the...
Screwing with the First Order, bro. You're just killing them all.
Coaxium, bro. We need some more
Shut your mouth. Space fuel. It's real. Yeah, space fuel. No, I don't know. I mean, sabotage, information gathering, you know.
Spy Finn again. Are we doing Spy Finn again?
Spy Finnegan? Spy Finnegan here. Anyway, no, I mean, I feel like there's going to be another super weapon.
Good. It's kind of have a Sun Crusher.
It's kind of lame.
Palpatine's eye.
Here's my thing. You've been building for years. Do you think Kylo and all his grandioseness is just going to stick with dreadnoughts and starships?
No.
I mean, maybe
There's
not.
Always got to be a super.
Maybe
weapon.
not Star Killer, but listen. What if somehow? What if somehow?
Where are you going with this?
He just. Oh my God! What if they brought back the Death Star? Death Star 3. There's no way to defeat us. Oh crap!
Really? You messed up with the exhaust port again? Didn't you learn from the first time?
I don't think they're actually going to do that. But no.
What if the mega weapon is Palpatine's Force Storm?
Whatever. I think there has to be some sort of new weapon or better ship, or perhaps a return, or well, a grand entrance of a Grand Admiral. Before this, we were kind of poking around, and there's a theory that Richard E. Grant, which isn't true because we've seen pictures of his character. He's a general, but what if we just went full on Star Wars universe and just brought back Grand Admiral Thrawn? No.
You don't even have to bring him back. He's in the movie or in the books. He's part canon now.
Oh, no. I just thought that was hilarious. Yeah. You know, Thrawn showing up all blue and cool. We'll talk about Thrawn, though. Anyway.
I got one token. I'm going to pick up the first Thrawn book here after I finish Alphabet.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I mean, the whole thing is that I didn't read the Thrawn books until this month, and I powered through all 3 of them.
I never got into Thrawn when I was young.
I never did either. We'll talk about it offline. But anyway, so I feel like there's going to be, maybe it's not a super weapon. Maybe it's more centered around a force weapon. Think about this. What if they brought the thought bomb into existence? Into existence in film.
Yeah.
Like, what if it was a race to stop Kylo's, like, major force bomb?
Get into some old Republic stuff with that.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
That'd be a good setup for, what's to come.
We'll see. But something bigger has to happen. There again, when you think about basic plot of a movie, maybe, people have not really gotten behind who's the big villain yet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Who's the big villain in your opinion? Who could be the big villain in this?
Who could be or who is right now that
Both.
We can see?
Who could be, who is?
I think what we're going to see is an iteration of Palpatine. Not Palpatine, but something. Some kind of wraith of Palpatine.
Big Papa Palps, gotcha.
Controlling Kylo Ren. Not physically controlling, but in the same way he controlled Dooku, like Darth Vader, all the rest of them. He's going to manipulate Kylo. He's going to turn him 100% to the dark side. I don't want a redemption arc unless Palpatine in some way.
Redemption.
For him to have a redemption arc, you have to have a bigger villain.
I actually saw, not to cut you off there, but I'm cutting you off.
Not to do what I'm doing, but
I saw a piece of fan art. So it was two panes. So the first pane was Kylo with a green, his lightsaber he has now, but green.
Yep.
And then you had Rey with a red lightsaber. Mm-hmm. Like, what if the swerve was, and this is like a WWF 1990s Attitude Era level swerve.
God, I know where you're going with this.
Just, you flip them, bro. You just flip them.
You flip him, brother. It's Rey all along. She was the villain. She was controlling Kylo. Now Kylo's going to come back and Ben Dempsey's going to run wild on you.
What do you think about that?
Okay, let's just have Rian Johnson do this.
Well, I mean, it kind of does bring up a point, though, because, like, we know that Qui-Gon had, in some way, touched the dark side, right? Mm-hmm. And we also know that Rey, in that cave, and then even when Luke was having to reach out, it's like, you didn't even attempt to pull back. Do you think that she might have that dark side test here? Not with Kylo, but a dark side test.
Maybe that could be the interaction with Palpatine.
Cough break. Maybe.
That'd be kind of cool if he interacted with her and not old Kylo.
So here's what I think. And we talked about this a little bit when I rewatched Last Jedi. In the throne room, Snoke's goading everybody on, doing Snoke stuff. And he said he's got his eyes closed. He turns his lightsaber to strike down his true enemy. Mm-hmm. I watched that and I said, this was meant to happen. Kylo was always meant to strike down Snoke, and Snoke knows it. Listen, guy's powerful. Those two are not a match for him. And I don't care what anybody says. He would, given concentration, was fully able to defeat both of them.
Mm-hmm. Without moving.
There's something so powerful about him, and that's why it PO'd so many people when he was just cut in half. Mm-hmm. But I think that that's how it was supposed to be, to build Kylo as the new Sith apprentice. And Palpatine
Snoke could have been Palpatine's apprentice at that point.
That's what I'm saying. You see, we also know about Palpatine's interest in the unknown region. Mm-hmm. And we know from Aftermath that on the orders of a Sentinel, Admiral Ray Sloan, took the freak kids, the Wonder Kids, Little Hux and Hux Senior, out to the unknown region, which conceivably is probably where Snoke's from. Mm-hmm. Maybe. All I'm saying is, what if it was the whole plan all along? Again, what is the name of this podcast?
I don't know. I've been doing it this long, and I don't know.
You have to play the game a little bit. Contingency plan. It's all about the contingency plan. I don't think there's going to be a flesh and blood Palpatine like you. I do, however, think...
I want there to be. I know there can't be. There can't be.
No,
they're not going to go that route. They're not going to do clones. They will not do clones.
I don't want to do clones either. I don't want to do body swapping, essence swapping. I want there to be a Palpatine clone. Oh, my God.
So you do want the clone.
No.
The Clone Wars again.
No, a Palpatine Sentinel, the last one. Mm-hmm. And I think I said this when we talked Sith Troopers. I think that this is a race. Mm-hmm. A race to something. A race to an artifact. A race to the essence of the Force. A race to a ticking time bomb. Thought bomb. And that eventually our trio and Kylo are going to collide. Hopefully. Maybe near some sort of like cool Jedi or Sith temple. perhaps.
Maybe
Where
certain fountains.
As Rey and Kylo lock into battle, all you hear is and then you just see a troop of Sith troopers, and then out walks the Palpatine Sentinel. Get the laugh, and then you can just see the strings, man. Mm-hmm. Now, this could lead to Ben Demption. Think about this. He doesn't know he's being controlled by Palpatine. He thinks that he's following in his grandfather's steps. We know that Palpatine also manipulated Anakin's dreams. Mm-hmm. What if somehow Palpatine's playing the same game? The same game. But Ben thinks it's something with his grandfather.
Could be.
What if Ben thinks literally Anakin is reaching out to him and leading him, but in reality, it's not him at all?
Yeah.
What if Big Papa Palps, maybe it's not a Sentinel. What if he's a Force ghost? Oh, but Sith can't be Force ghosts. Why not?
They can.
Why not?
There have been Sith that are Force ghosts, actually, so that is possible, and he would be one of the best candidates with how powerful he is.
Listen, the guy had a kind of an unhealthy obsession with like trying to beat death. Okay,
yeah,
kind of unhealthy.
And we have heard rumors that Hayden will have a part in this as well. That could be a part of that twist where you keep seeing these visions of, or you keep seeing the Force ghost of Anakin communing with Ben. Turn out that it's Palpatine all along. That could be his role in that movie.
What if Palpatine's doing his Force ghost thing, and then Anakin's Force ghosts come back and kills him again?
And that's the duel. Throws him into a Force ghost reactor.
Yes. Yes. Do you think...
Why'd that reactor become a Force... No, don't do it again.
What if we had a Force ghost battle?
Is it sad that part of me thinks that'd be kind of badass? Just a little bit. Just garbage, but still awesome.
So you have Force Ghost Luke and Force Ghost Anakin against
Father
Force
and
Ghost,
son against Papa
Ghost.
Palpatine.
And Rey and Kylo just sort of sit there eating popcorn. It's like,
this is amazing.
Kylo, did you slip me some mushrooms?
I thought you did.
No, I swear that wasn't anything.
Are you sleepy yet?
We're getting a little goofy with this, but
because we're tired.
But I think we're definitely going to see more Force Ghosts. Mm-hmm. And listen, Yoda is a powerful Force Ghost. He controlled lightning.
Yeah. But you know what I want to see? I want to see Force Ghost Qui-Gon. The OG Force Ghost. Why can't we? Truthfully.
You know, I was listening to the Clashing Sabers podcast where they recently did a discussion about Return of the Jedi. And one of the complaints that they kind of had was sort of the cheesy ending where you had and then all of a sudden you just see like that's more like the song from episode 1 celebration, but whatever. But then all the Force ghosts just appear and they're all like posing in their hero poses and like, yeah. But I mean, could you imagine how PO'd people would be? And it's just like all the Force ghosts.
Honestly, I hate to say it.
Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan.
Okay, hold on. Take a second and think about it. If they didn't do it cheesy and they did a more serious version of that scene, and you'd have first Qui-Gon, should appear first. He was the first. Mm-hmm. A little bit older. Yes, obviously. I mean, it doesn't work with the whole Force Ghost thing, but kind of have to. You get Qui-Gon first, then you get Yoda, then you get old Obi-Wan, then you get Luke. In a way, of course you get Anakin. In a way, that would be kind of cool. I'm sorry.
I'm good. I'm good without it.
Sorry, I still think that'd be kind of cool. I never thought that was a cheesy thing. I always liked it personally.
No,
I always liked the Force Ghost thing.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's cheesy. I think for the time it was just fine. I think you also have to take into account the time in which those movies were being made. But I do wonder how much we're going to do with Force Ghosts, because I think we're going to get them.
I guarantee we'll get Luke, and I think we'll get Yoda. I don't think we'll get more than that.
But what part would Yoda play? Because Kylo and Rey don't know who Yoda is. I mean, the only one who really knows who Yoda would be is Luke. Yeah. I mean, obviously other, Force Ghosts. Yeah. But, they're up there doing Force Ghost toasts and, getting toasted. But, oh, young Rey. Oh, my God, who's that frog? Get out of here, you frog.
Well, you could also argue that Luke taught Rey about the Jedi that came before.
Hey, listen, let's not speculate about that. Did she read the books?
Can we just kind of clean up the whole training sequence in this movie just a little bit?
Did she read the sacred text?
I don't know. I mean, Luke, one. She could have.
Luke didn't really read the sacred. He just kept it in a tree. The horn, you hear that? Yeah, those kids are out there being nuts. Yeah. Parenting done right. So anyway, let's speculate on some other stuff. So we've got potential
Rose.
Okay, well, let's talk about Rose. First of all,
do you think we can have a good story arc for Rose? Do you think she can be redeemed as a character?
I think she's going to fade into the back a little bit. Not anything against the actress, Kelly Tran, but I think that her character, I don't think they did her any favors, but I think that she could be a good character. And listen, JJ said she loves her, he loves her, and wants to do stuff with her. That's cool. But I think that it's not going to be as big a deal, or at least I don't want to say I hope, but I kind of do. Mm-hmm. I don't think. Gosh, this is really getting tough because, the whole thing in the end of Last Jedi is like, oh, she kissed Finn, and the ones we love. So, I don't know. I didn't feel that relationship.
No, I think it was forced. I think it was totally forced.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I just wanted, Finn and Rey to go off and do Finn and Rey stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I don't
PG
think
show.
Keep
it PG.
I don't really think there's a lot of room for romance in this trilogy.
Well, and the other thing too is do we need romance? No, we don't. No, we have had progressive romance in all the other trilogies.
Yes, and it worked.
I don't like sand.
That was very progressive. Good God, I had to go through all that.
Not like you. Yeah. You're soft.
Last week and this week, I got to go through all that garbage. But it was worth it for final battle on Mustafar. For the millionth time. You're breaking my heart.
You're breaking my neck.
So, there doesn't need to be romance, but I almost feel like it. No, if there is anything that I would hate,
I'd be pissed.
I would hate to see that. And I know there are a lot of people out there who love it. Well, they touched hands so sensually.
They communicate with their minds.
I just
so romantic.
I mean, I don't want it. I don't want it. But I think that, first and foremost, so back to Rose. I kind of hope she fades in the back a little bit. I think we have was it Naomi Watts was the new actress?
Yeah.
Who's probably one of Lando's miscellaneous children. No, I'm just kidding. I don't remember if that's her name. If I'm speaking out of turn, obviously.
No, I think I know who's Naomi something. I can't remember.
So, hey man, I'm all for Rey or Finn just becoming the new Lando. He just acquires some capes. He finds the cape room, secret cape room. He's like, well, I kind of like these capes. I feel real smooth with this on, Lando teaches him a few tricks. Now listen, kid, you got to be real smooth. You ever played sabacc? Oh.
So, I think our villain will just be Darth Maul.
Shit. I'm going to kick you out of here in a second.
Old Darth Maul. Old, decrepit Darth Maul. What would he be, like 70, 80 years old at that point?
Who knows? No, I mean, I think, the more I think about it, I still, like, again, I think that we're going to have Kylo is a big villain, but I think he doesn't know he's being controlled by Palpatine, and then when he does, I think there's going to be some reckoning about that. Yeah. Let's talk about some other stuff. So let's talk about Poe.
Poe.
How do you think Poe is going to fit into this story?
Well, we kind of talked about this offline earlier. I did see an interesting theory that he could become the new leader of the Resistance.
Which kind of makes sense.
I kind of like that.
You
it
know,
would give his character a little bit more gravity, and he needs it, because honestly, I like him as a character, but at the same time, he's been neglected, I feel like, more than the others.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
His character progression has been terrible.
And you know, again, not to be rough about this, but I just didn't really care. I didn't really care about Poe all that much. You know, it's like, ooh, comic relief, just what I need for this movie. So for me, yeah, I could totally see him stepping up, leading the Resistance potentially. You know, Holdo's gone, Leia is, we'll see. And he seems to be like the next logical step.
Yeah, and he did try to kind of take over a little bit in Return of the Jedi. So.
And you know, I think
he has that spark to be a leader.
When with some year, and people followed him too.
Oh yeah.
And with some years now, maybe he's grown wiser and, you know, left the cocky pilot a little bit behind where he's
no longer fly boy.
Well, that could also bring into some things. Do you think he maybe gets gun shy? Because, you know, beforehand he basically blew, you know, an entire bomber squadron to take out one ship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we took out that ship. They're heroes. Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah.
They're dead, dude. So do you think there could be a point where he gets gun shy? Like maybe there's an engagement and he pulls back and like everybody's like,
we can do this.
Poe.
Bombers.
I mean, you know, Admiral Poe or whatever they call him.
Admiral Poe. Oh my God.
Captain Poe, Lieutenant Admiral Poe.
Grand Moff Poe.
We're reclaiming the Moth. I'm Grand Admiral Moff Poe. General.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's Grand Moff Admiral Poe. Guys, I keep forgetting my title.
Minister Poe.
Minister Moff Poe.
Princess Poe. Princess Poe. Okay. Wait a minute.
I don't know about him being gun shy. I feel like that'd be really out of character for him. But again, there's so little character development at this point that I don't know.
True enough.
I don't know.
So let's move on a little bit because who cares about Poe?
What do you think is going to happen with BB-8? You think he's just going to have babies with R2-D2?
No, he's R2's baby with the Death Star. Didn't you ever see that? Did I never show you that?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's actually R2's weird child. Oh, man. I mean, BB-8's just going to do BB-8 stuff. We don't really kill too many droids off. So I think he's...
Don't kill any main droids off except for L3.
No, L3, yeah.
Oh, she's still alive, technically.
She's in the Falcon.
She is the Falcon.
Deep. Yeah, I think he'll...
It works.
I think BB-8 will be fine. We'll see plenty of BB-8. God, people love him. And then the new Dio droid. And,
Yeah.
So what about... hey, do you think we'll see Maz again?
I hope so. I'd love to see Maz again.
Maybe not as a hologram.
Would you like to see
tell him
Maz
about code breakers?
Would you kind of like to see Maz as a main character in this one, or at least a
No.
very, very involved secondary character?
Okay, here's my thing. I am not a huge fan of CGI characters.
Yeah, but she's cool though.
No,
For CGI, she's
I
cool.
understand that, but like I am a very 90s practical effect guy.
Yeah, I get that.
And I'm cool with supporting characters being all CGI'd, but you know, I there's something aesthetically about it when I have to see it too much that I'm not a huge fan of.
I get that.
You will enjoy the story in the New Age of Resistance comic with her. And I do like her character, but I'm cool with her in small doses. Could you imagine hearing that voice the entire time, though?
Okay, so so would you rather see somewhere in the middle between what we had with Force Awakens and Last Jedi, or you want a little bit more than Force Awakens?
I feel like, because, again, we're getting back to the trio and adventure, potentially, I feel like they're going to seek advice.
Yeah. Or she'll set up a mission or something.
I feel like they're going to run into her, ask for advice, because, listen, again, you need to read that for an explanation, and I'm not going to spoil it. You can listen to that explanation on the Power Half Hour whenever I get to that. But no, in all honesty, like with her, you know, she had the lightsaber. She collects things. Yeah. I think that, again, I think it's a race for something, some artifact, some important piece of something, a holocron or whatever.
What if we have a Sith artifact that becomes a weapon?
Could be.
Super weapon.
Could be. So I think that they're going to go to her for advice because she knows things. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, her and Chewie can...
She's like that four-armed diner guy from
Dax.
The prequels. Yeah. Dax, yeah.
Oh, what do you know? It's a Camino dart.
Whatever.
You can tell by the markings. Yeah. Droids aren't good about that.
Those Caminoans, they're cloners.
He was he was creepy.
He was.
He was like supposed to be this nice diner. Oh, he's Obi's friend. It's like he kind of seems like he would take Obi in the back and just like take his kidneys.
Why is Obi friends with that?
Oh, Dax, you're just so funny. Did you slip something into my calf? You know, it's like, oh,
no.
Want some death sticks?
That might be a T-shirt one day.
Dax and death sticks.
So anyway, so yeah, I think we'll encounter Maz. Let's see. I don't know. Are any other real major characters? What do you think will happen with Rey?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Hux.
No, we'll get to Hux. But how about Rey? Do we think that she's the
chosen one of prophecy?
Well, let's not go that far. But like, do we think she's the hero that we kind of want her to be, that we need her to be? Or do you think there's a potential that something else could happen with her? Who are her parents?
Can I be honest? Just completely frank?
Go for it. No, you can't be honest.
Get excited about Rey as I did with Luke and Anakin.
Really?
I like Rey. I really do like Rey.
Yeah.
But there's just a disconnect there with me. And I don't know if it's because there's always been a quick skip to the main characters being very powerful. And I don't get everyone's argument of, oh, she learned everything too quickly. Star Wars has always jumped with training. I mean, look at Dagobah. But
well, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like right now, with where it stands, the way she's tied into the universe, it just doesn't grip me as much. So I don't know where she's going. I really don't know what direction she is going in any of this. You know, Anakin always had a purpose. He was always going to become Darth Vader, and you had that anticipation.
He became Darth Vader?
Luke always had to have a purpose, and that always gripped you. You always knew what he was going to do.
Luke had a purpose?
I mean, Rey she gets kind of thrown into all this, and that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand where you're coming from. I think there's a lot to Rey, but you know, again, I feel like
we got a lot of character building to do this.
I think we're gonna get some epic stuff, but again, I think we just suffered from too many characters trying to be a part of everything, and really what we just needed was Poe and Finn, Rey and Finn.
Just Poe and Finn.
It's a Poe and Finn adventure.
Poe-fin venture.
Poe-fin. Finn. But yeah, no, just a Rey and Finn adventure, and then Poe just periodically creeps in. But I don't know, you know, it's interesting to say, but I think she's the hero, but I also think she's going to be touched by the dark side at some point. And I think, you know, just like Luke and Dagobah, You know, just like his kind of
Just like
confrontation.
Anakin in the entire trilogy.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, just I think that she has to have that get close moment where, she starts to either epically fight it off, or we have that moment where it almost feels like, oh, we're losing this hero. It's drama. It's for effect.
Yeah.
And I just don't know that we've had enough of that in this series. So I don't know. I don't think we'll have Dark Ray, but I definitely think she's going to be touched by the dark side in some form or fashion.
Gray Ray.
Gray Ray.
Will we have Gray? Gray and Ray combined. Gray.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, she's all.
Would you be okay with that outcome if she became a Gray Jedi in the end?
Well, here's the thing. I do not prescribe to those who just want the old order to be back again. Mm-hmm. I can agree in principle somewhat with Kylo Ren. Sometimes you have to let the past die.
Yeah.
Because the old way of doing things led to
work.
This.
Yeah.
So my thing is that, yeah, I mean, she's already a little gray. Mm-hmm. She went down in the weird seaweed cave. We don't want to talk about that too much. But and she, even when she fights with aggression. Mm-hmm. And somebody commented on this, I think on Twitter, and they were talking about like aggression. And it's like, well, I actually probably should find that and maybe comment on it. But I thought about it at the time, and it was like, we need like good Jedi. And it's like, what the hell did good get him? And this isn't an offensive person. I don't even remember who commented, but it's like, what did good Jedi get us? It got us this.
Yeah.
Good Jedi should be like passive. They were passive. And
that's why they got overthrown.
Well, I mean, you could point to the fact that maybe being generals in a Clone War wasn't great, but they could have avoided all of that if they had seen the darkness around them. Mm-hmm. And they didn't. They weren't able to see it because they were so passive. But I think it's time, and Qui-Gon was always a perfect example of this. You don't have to go to the dark side, but you don't have to sit there and fear it as because again, they talk about fear being a path to the dark side, hate being a path to the dark side.
But they're trained to fear the dark side.
But all they do is like, it's always in the back of their mind. It's like, well, they don't fear it. They're just telling them not to go to the dark side. It's like, well, this leads to that. But then you take these impressionable kids that you've just taken from, and they don't know anything except that. Well, they might not really remember their families except real Averos, but they're impressionable. They're young. They're learning all this stuff, and it's like, listen, they're gonna be afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just natural. They can learn to overcome
some heavy stuff on a young child.
Yeah. But then you're saying this dark side, it's out there. It could get you at any time. You can't fight the dark side, almost.
But you have to try.
But you have to. But you can't turn to the dark side, because then you'll be dark side, and you'll be evil, and then you'll have hate, and then you'll be anger, and you'll be on the dark side. But see,
penetrate you.
Ooh, let's not go there. That's a little bit bad. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, there was always this overarching fear of the dark side. It's like, I'm not saying you poke it. Poke the dark side. I put my hand in it.
No, but Qui-Gon actually accepted it was there.
And that's part of the living force.
Okay. There was balance.
It's a yin and a yang.
You weren't a part of it, but you accepted its existence. He chose his side, but he didn't necessarily think the other side was.
In that quote.
Yeah, perfect quote.
In that quote from Master and Apprentice, which I can't recount right now. Can you?
I don't
it's cool,
choose the light side because it's right. It's the only thing that can be. I choose it because it's the light.
Yeah,
something.
I choose it because it's light, basically. Yeah. And I think that's important, and I think that's a choice that Rey is making. Mm-hmm. You know, she's choosing the path because it's the right path. That's what a Jedi should be concerned about. And if they can't do that, listen, the dark side of the Force is one piece of the puzzle. Mm-hmm. So is the light. It's a yin and a yang. It is two halves of the same circle. You can't have light without dark. You can't have dark without light. Right. There literally will always be that
one requires
that symbiosis.
The other to be itself,
right?
Essentially.
And Anakin did balance the Force. Mm-hmm. it's actually still.
But what if now Rey balances it further by starting a gray Jedi Order?
Well, here's the thing. It's like, this is why it's good we're having this conversation. So technically, we're not potentially. Let's say Big Papa Palps is out there somehow. Technically, we're not balanced then. But what if we get rid of Palp and we just have Rey and we have Kylo? And Kylo doesn't die.
Then you just have one dark side and one light side.
It's all about balance. Mm-hmm. Now, how that works out, I don't know. Maybe he gets shunned to, whatever, to go play with the Yuuzhan Vong out there. But
not canon.
I'm just trying to think about this, because there's always going to be that path. I think that the Force is a character. I've always believed that the Force is its own thing. It does what it wants to do. And it kind of maybe doesn't use us as pawns. We still have freedom of choice, but there's the influence of the Force. And we don't control it. It allows itself to sort of flow through you so that you can do incredible things.
So let me ask you this. Do you think in balance there needs to be a very small amount of Force users? Or
that's philosophical, man. I'm not a super, pseudoscience, religious, overly religious person. I have my own beliefs and so forth and that, but
so it's just a small idea, but go ahead.
No, I mean, the thing is, and again, it all boils down to yin and yang. There's always going to be a dark side. There's always going to be a light side. Mm-hmm. So some piece of either will always be there no matter what, because that's the symbiosis of the universe, man.
So what if we, in a way, left this story a little more open-ended, but closed the chapter on this?
Oh, you suck. Shut up.
Sorry, go ahead.
But, you close this chapter. This part of the Star Wars universe is done. No more First Order resistance in the future. But what if we set this up, regardless if it's Rian Johnson or someone in the future, we have both Rey and Kylo survive all this. Rey's the pure avatar of the light, and Kylo's the pure avatar of the dark side of the Force. They go off to separate sides of the galaxy. One forms a new Jedi Order, and one forms a new Sith Order and abolishes the rule of two. In a way, it's still balance, and it is a setup for infinite storytelling in the future.
That is a very book thing to do. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's a very movie thing to do. But I think that would be epic in a book sense.
I don't think about the setup for a new trilogy if you did that.
I'm with you. I think that...
Or just letting the story die with that. Let it end there and just have the possibilities that you can think of and, just...
Yeah, it's weird because, the more I think about it, the more I just have a hard time thinking that either one of them will be dead at the end of this movie. Mm-hmm. So actually, let's cut a bit here because, listen, after this, we're going to be making, some White Russians or something and just, having to chill out a bit. Let's do Death Question. All the characters, gun to your head, one has to die. Who are you killing off? And it can't be Rose.
Screw you. We picking one from each side or just one in general?
Just one in general. Can't be Rose, can't be Hux.
I was going to kind of think about Hux.
I know you were, and that's why I said no.
Why can't it be Hux? Because you're picking Hux?
No, because Hux probably will die. Yeah. I actually think that's probably going to happen. Ship explosion, possibly.
It always seems to be the way they die.
It's Disney. Uh-huh. If they can't fall to their deaths, they have to blow up unseen. But no, seriously. No Hux, no Rose. Pick anybody else. You're having a tough time with this.
The most gravity in the situation?
Nope, doesn't matter.
Probably have to be. I'd say Finn.
Okay.
I'd say a sacrifice from Finn.
Okay. Yep, I could see it.
He's already tried once, so it's in him.
It's true. I could totally see that.
Would have been the worst sacrifice ever, though. We've literally done nothing, but we're not talking about that.
Thanks, Rose. Oh, yeah, no, I think that would add some gravity. God, could you think, okay, so speculation. What if, like,
Whoa, we're not allowed to speculate here.
I mean, what if, like, Kylo cuts him down and that's just the Rey snapping moment? He finishes what he started. I cut you once, I'll cut you again.
Yeah, just back up a little bit further so I actually hit your spine.
Yeah, okay, so who's going to die? Out of anybody, anywhere. You know what? R2D2. R2D2.
That'd be kind of heavy, wouldn't it?
It would be super heavy.
That'd be pretty heavy.
And I think that a lot of people, that's a droid. I don't actually think a lot of people, I think casual fans, it's a droid. Could you imagine?
We would be heartbroken.
Super fans.
Yeah, people who grew up with this.
I don't know how it could be done, but this droid has been through everything.
Mm-hmm. He was there from the beginning.
Well, that was C-3PO. Darth 3PO. R2D2 was on the Naboo cruiser that carried Padme and her handmaidens and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, Panaka, Rip Panaka, to Tatooine to meet Anakin. He was there throughout everything. He was
the Clone War.
He had his cool little rocket feet, his little rocket
little
boosters.
Oil spray so he can set droids on fire.
He was epic.
Yeah. He
He was a battle droid.
He could destroy Droidicus.
He could. Interacting with the Death Star, just all the stuff that he avoided, all the plans he's been a part of. C-3PO's had his mind wiped.
Yeah.
R2 never has. He remembers everything.
Wasn't it kind of epic when he was just in stasis too, when he was just kind of shut down?
There's, I've seen some stuff about why. What if he's just that old?
Starting to go.
Now, that probably isn't really how it is, but, like, I'm just thinking about, like, what if R2 saves 3PO? Like, one last thing for his friend.
Yeah.
I mean, they're and they had that sort of adversarial friendship. What if he saves 3PO? I mean, just in some form or fashion, but we lose R2D2. I don't really think it's going to happen, but I'm just saying
that would hit me harder than Finn, I can tell you that.
the gravity of losing that droid, that character, I think would be.
And you wouldn't see it coming either.
No, and I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think that people would be mad. I just think they would be sad.
Yeah. I don't think you'd see a lot of rage. It'd just be like, and that's it.
Yeah.
With that, Star Wars is done.
I don't know.
In a way.
I'm not a huge fan of killing off characters. I just never have been. But
There has to be purpose.
And Star Wars really doesn't do that a ton.
No.
It really doesn't. People survive.
That's why there's a lot of gravity. I mean, look at when
Yeah.
Han died.
But I'm just thinking to myself, like, of any character, Finn's kind of an obvious sacrifice. I mean, no offense. I think he's one of those that I think a lot of people would say, okay, if you're going to kill him, you go, okay. I mean, we don't want to, but, if we got in my head, Finn. I don't know. R2 going out, I think that would be...
Keep it in the realm of old school. Which one do you think would hurt worse, seeing Chewie or Lando die?
I think you could do a really epic thing with Lando because he's older.
Yeah.
Chewie doesn't play old.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Wookiees live longer lives, but you have a young actor in there now, and he doesn't really play him old. Like, he's not hunched over and he's still strong. He's still shooting. Maybe he's a little slower on the draw, maybe, but he's still not, he doesn't feel old to me. But Lando is now old.
Yeah. Like pretty damn old.
And I think that would hurt.
Yeah.
I loved Lando because he was such a scoundrel. Like, yeah, Han was a scoundrel, but we always kind of figured that there was something good about him, even from
Lando
the beginning.
was through and through a scoundrel.
Like Lando, we were like, you know what?
Don't trust him. Why'd you trust him again?
Listen,
you're an idiot.
He would be a good friend, but you could never trust him with anything.
Exactly.
But he was such a cool character. He was honestly like meeting him. Han, why'd you come here after that stuff you pulled? Got a lot of nerve coming here. And just his whole shtick. I mean, I really enjoy that character. But I think, listen, we've lost Chewie in the books, and it was really poorly done. I don't care what people say. I thought it was stupid.
It was.
But, Chewie's just always that guy. And I'll be honest, like, that Falcon is Rey and Chewie's now.
Yep.
I think that she would have that friendship with Chewie. Yeah. You know what? I got to stop thinking about this stuff because I could see.
Now you're thinking about it more, aren't you?
Yeah, I see death. But no, I mean, just like him getting shot during a boarding or something, and her having to leave him, or because there's some thoughts about like the Falcon being done for, like maybe being boarded finally by the First Order, because Kylo hates that ship.
Oh yeah.
It's the representation of his father. He killed his father, blah, blah, blah. Shoot that garbage down out of the sky, whatever he said. But, maybe Chewie could save her, like, in some form or fashion, get her into a pod, or she won't leave him here, throw her in a pod.
But he goes down with the ship.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I think I hope the Falcon survives. Because it's as much of a character as a lot of things are.
Yeah.
Man. God, we're talking about a lot of dead things. This is really
or
down.
Potentially dying things.
This is really bringing me down, man. I think we need to build I think we need to build ourselves back up.
I can now.
So hey, what about
how about death?
What about death? I don't know, man. I think we could probably wrap up about now.
Yeah. We'll have another one of these in before the movie comes out.
But wait, there's more.
No. I'm too tired for more.
You don't want to talk about Snoke's epic return?
No, we'll save that for next.
All right.
You just admitted that you think that he died for real.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been of the opinion that until the credits roll on 9, he could still come back. But after we got the Palpatine laugh, I was kind of like, and then I rewatched
Do you need
that.
him after Palpatine comes back? I mean, truthfully.
I want to see what the comic says. I want to see what that's about, the Age of Resistance comic. And I want to see some other media because I think he's a bigger deal than what we got in the movies.
Yeah, Snoke will be the last one, right?
That's a good question. I don't remember which one is the last one. It's like Kylo and Snoke, I think, are like...
Yeah, it's Rey and Kylo, and I can't remember who the last good guy is, but I think Snoke's the last one.
Poe has one. We have one for Rose. We've got Hux. Darn, I'm blanking. Anyway, but yeah, there's still a few more issues.
We got a Lando one, I think.
No, dude, no, that's in the other series.
No, I think we get a Lando one for Resistance too.
Listen, brother.
I have to look it up, but I think we do.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. They can eviscerate us on Twitter or whatever. So anyway, folks, that was a little discussion here. I think we'll go ahead and cut it there. There was a lot of darkness at the end.
Yeah.
But I think
my kind of podcast.
The darkness inside me.
Hello,
Sora.
Darkness, my old friend.
Sora, you must defeat the darkness. Oh, Sora, you gotta defeat the darkness. I've never played that game.
You're not
I've
gonna
never
buy the
played
third
the Kingdom
one?
Hearts. No, I can't do that. It's
never
way
played
too
them once.
dumb. So anyway, thank you guys very much for listening to another episode. Again, keep
listening.
looking for our continuing 30-minute power half-hour podcast as well as the main series. We are very close to restarting back up our reread into the new Jedi Order.
Yeah.
I am trying to push the Darth to get Alphabet Squadron out so we can talk about that.
And we also will have a review of Rogue One potentially coming out soon.
Yep, we're gonna push in some movies there as well. And I didn't tell you this, but I never did post Solo. So I have it edited, and I'm going to post the lost Solo episode that was actually take 2 because we weren't able to record it properly the first time around.
I wish we could have gotten that first take out.
It was great.
Pure perfection.
So anyway, I will be releasing the Solo podcast as the Long Lost Solo podcast. Then we'll be talking about Rogue One at some point. Alphabet Squadron will be getting out there too. Really epic book. Mm-hmm. Then we'll be getting back into our reread of Dark Tide 2.
Onslaught.
No,
I'm kidding.
The other one's Onslaught. What is it? Do you remember what the?
Yeah, it's I got it in my notes.
Dark Tide Onslaught 2. That's your motorcycle. That's not the right thing. He's searching through his notes. What is it?
I didn't put it on there. I just have Dark Tide 2.
Oh, what a bummer. So anyway, we'll get into the second Dark Tide book as well and rehash our reread in a 4-part series as opposed to going by chapter by chapter. But yeah, look forward to all that. And
maybe some Thrawn in the future.
Yeah, we'll eventually get Thrawn. I hate to say this, but I might leave you in the dust in that book and get somebody else to discuss it. No offense, because you haven't read the other two.
I got a long time to go on that one.
But yeah, I mean, we'll probably do a supplementary when you get to it. But yeah, I'm interested in talking about that book, for better or for worse. And we got a lot more to do. We got a lot more to come. Make sure you're following us on all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, TC Plan Podcast at gmail.com. That's our
rattle it
email.
all off.
And you can also check out the Patreon where I'm about to do a massive drop of also lost episodes, of our Dinner with the Patron series, with just random conversations, eating a little bit of food, a little bit of bonus content. If you want to help support the podcast, you can go over to Patreon. But aside from that, you guys have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force be with you.